Well, the results are in. John Cena really can't wrestle. If you watched John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania this year, and you watched John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash, you cannot be happy with what you saw. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes was one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. And there was no reason why it had to be that way. This match looked like it was taking place in slow motion. It was like they were practicing out there, as if this was like a rehearsal for the real thing, which it wasn't. It was the real thing. It was the main event of WrestleMania. I understand that John Cena is almost 50 years old. And if that's the case, they shouldn't have had such a long match. Why not just have like a 10-minute match that John Cena wins so he could go all out and put on a good show and win the match? No, they had to have this extremely long, boring, dull match where there was a lot of like nothing going on during long stretches of the match. Just real basic maneuvers that just didn't look good. It was terrible. The whole thing was terrible. And if they were going to do a long match like this, then Cody Rhodes should have been flying around the ring as if he was Rey Mysterio to make up for the fact that John Cena couldn't do very much. Maybe his ring conditioning is not good or whatever. I don't know. But Cody could have made up for it and didn't. Now, although I want to focus on John Cena, I have to mention the worst WrestleMania moment of all time, which was Travis Scott coming out in the middle of the main event of WrestleMania. A guy who is not a professional wrestler. Even if he's going to train and have a match someday, that guy's not a pro wrestler. He's 110 pounds soaking wet, and he doesn't look like a threat to anybody, including the people in the women's division. But he comes out, and he's got the hardcore title on, which, you know, you have to like look on the internet to find out why he had that. It's like Triple H gave it to him as a gift, but he carries it around with him. And it's like, okay, you know, I know he calls himself Cactus Jack or whatever, but again, the guy comes out, has the longest entrance, and I was going to say of all time. Maybe it was longer than the Undertaker's usual entrances, because that's what it felt like. But he comes out to interfere in the match, and Cody Rhodes gives him the Crossroads, which the Crossroads looked fine. But again, you know, he shouldn't be getting involved in this. The build-up to this match was completely botched. I don't know who's to blame for it. I think everyone's to blame for it because everyone did a bad job. I mean, John Cena turning heel was a good idea. I made a video about that on my channel. But the way it was executed afterwards, in terms of his promos being so boring and so inauthentic, it just, and week after week, it was just falling flatter and flatter. And then Cody is no help because he's a dork. And then The Rock is never around. And so at WrestleMania, we get Travis Scott. Then the finish itself. Cody had the WWE title belt, had the chance to get his revenge and hit Cena in the face with it. One problem I have with this point in the match is that when Cody has the title belt, John Cena's like, no, don't do that to me, whatever. That doesn't look good or make sense, or, you know, it's like Cena acting like he's a cowardly heel. He's not a coward. I mean, he's a 250-pound guy. It doesn't make sense for him to be like, oh no, don't hit me. No, what he should have been doing is like, come on, let's go. You show me that you are as great as you think you are, and show me you're a tough guy. Yeah, bring it on, Cody. That's what he should have done. That's what makes sense within the context of everything. Not him being like, oh, no. Again, Cena is just acting like a bad guy. He's not being a bad guy. He's just acting like it. And it's so fake and phony. And it made this part of the match even more lame. Then, on top of that, Cody can't hit him with the title belt because he's too good of a guy and Cena's his hero or whatever. And he just backs out of it, making him look like an even bigger dork. In the biggest moment of the biggest match of his career, he just looks like a wimp. I mean, imagine all the Cody fans when they see that. They must have been like, oh my goodness. I mean, you could say that this could be leading to a rematch between Cena and Cody down the line, where Cody actually finds the courage to cheat and get revenge on Cena for low blowing him and hitting him with the title. I could see that happening at some point. Him low blowing Cena and hitting him with the title in a later match. But still, on the biggest stage, you are going to put your number one babyface for the past 3 years in a situation where he looks like a chump. Terrible, terrible decision making by WWE. And there's been a lot of terrible decision making by WWE this year, but they're getting away with it because their business is doing so well. And there are good matches that are taking place, some of which are in the women's division because Io Sky is doing a great job and other people are doing a great job. But this match was just awful, awful. They should have just had a 10-minute match. They could have had a great, entertaining, fun match, and they should have ended it with Cena winning. Not that way, not making Cody look like a chump. Cena could have cheated and won, but you don't have to make Cody look so lame. He already is lame. So now Cena is a 17-time champion. Great. But now we go to Backlash, where he's going to face Randy Orton. Now, these guys have faced each other many times before and have had some very entertaining matches in the main event of many pay-per-views in the past. So you got to expect that they could pull out a good match. They've done it many times before. But no, that's not what they do. They put on yet another boring match. Was this one better than the match with Cody? No, it was just worse in a different way. See, this time, all they did was a bunch of RKOs, a bunch of attitude adjustments, a bunch of kickouts, and then there's interference, there's distractions, ref bumps, and then at some point, Cena wins in the lamest way possible. So it was not an entertaining match. It's just way too many finishers. And these guys should know better, okay? They started wrestling during a time where a finisher actually meant something. Now, they're just doing what all the other people do. You know, they should show that you don't have to do that to put on an entertaining match. And it actually destroys the entertainment value of the match. And it destroys the value of your finisher when it takes like a ton of attitude adjustments and a ton of RKOs to get a finish. And that wasn't even part of the finish. So it was like, what's going on here? Terrible performance. I mean, Randy Orton is in good enough shape to put on a good match. I don't know about Cena, but again, it's like they had R-Truth come in, which I knew that was going to happen. You know, ever since they had that first interaction with R-Truth and Cena a couple weeks ago, I was like, R-Truth is going to cost Orton the title. And that is exactly what happened. There was also Nick Aldis, Daivari, Hurricane Helms, Jamie Noble, all of them come in the ring to check on one of the referees after they got knocked out. And then Orton RKOs all of them. I mean, the whole thing was just a debacle. It was just another bad John Cena match. I was hoping they would put on a good match, and they didn't. And it's like, why should I even look forward to any more of John Cena's matches throughout this year? They're all going to suck, most likely. The next person John Cena is facing is R-Truth. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually turns out to be a decent match because it's happening on Saturday night's main event, which means they have time constraints. And so the match will probably be short, mainly because of what I just said, and also because it's R-Truth versus John Cena. It's not like anybody thinks that R-Truth is going to put on a 20-minute match with John Cena. No. I mean, the match is going to be less than 10 minutes long, I'm sure, or somewhere around there. But still, I mean, even if Cena faces people like CM Punk this year, I mean, I'm looking forward to that match because hopefully Punk can pull a good match out of Cena. I really hope so. But whoever else Cena faces, it's like, oh my God, it's like nothing Cena has done this year has been good except for that one moment at Elimination Chamber when he turned heel. That was well done, well executed. Travis Scott also ruined that, sort of, but it was kind of such a big deal that Cena turning heel and the way they did it with the camera work, it overshadowed the Travis Scott nonsense. But nothing else since then. It's like, kind of takes the wind out of my sails, because I was like, Cena turning heel, that would have been like the greatest thing ever in most fans' minds like 10 years ago. And the fact that this is what we get as Cena's heel turn, it's like, oh, it's not like anything that Cena is doing is making me dislike him, in terms of like him being a heel. It's just making me bored. It's like, dude, this is the best you can do. You had 20 years to come up with a great heel character, and this is the best you got. I mean, it's just a disappointment. It's just like, I don't want to watch. I mean, I'm only watching his matches to see, does he have anything left? Because this is his final year. And so far, nothing good. And it's just so strange to me, because it's like, just have him participate in short matches. You don't have to give him a long match just because it's Cena's last run. It would be better for him to have good matches than long matches. But WWE is fumbling the ball here. Not only with this Cena thing, with pretty much everything across the board. I mean, nothing exciting is going on in their programming, although they like to pretend like it is, like everything is so amazing and everybody's doing great. And, they have the talent there. The talent is just sort of floundering. I mean, everybody's kind of stagnant. Nobody's really breaking through and like doing anything super duper special. I mean, I guess Jacob Fatu is kind of an interesting person who's on the come up, and Io Sky's doing a great job, but it's kind of just ho-hum. I mean, the last time WWE programming really captivated me was when Sami Zayn was part of the Bloodline, and then he got his championship match in Montreal. That was the last time I was really captivated by WWE television. And then since then, it's just been this slow downward, just, a decline in the quality of their programming. Although you would never notice, because they try to make it seem like everything's awesome. But it isn't. I mean, think about Gunther tapping out at WrestleMania to Jey Uso. That doesn't make any sense. There's just a lot of like decisions they're making. There's just like, what the heck is going on? But back to John Cena. This guy can't wrestle anymore, and it's a good thing he's retiring. I don't know if it's his age. I don't know if he forgot how to wrestle. Adam Copeland, Edge, I mean, he's doing the same thing in AEW. Like, ever since he returned from his neck injury, he hasn't done anything special. Nothing. Like, I haven't seen an outstanding Edge performance since he came back after that long period where he was retired. I mean, I'm sure he's getting paid well, but, for what reason? I mean, it's like, I know he might be having fun, but, these guys, they really need to just, call it a day. And I know Cena's going to be done this year. That's a good thing. Adam Copeland, he needs to go too, because nothing he's doing is helping. And hopefully WWE makes some better decisions in the future. And Triple H, sometime around WrestleMania, he was interviewed and he was saying he wishes people wouldn't watch the product with a critical eye, and they should just watch it to enjoy it. That's almost an admission that he knows that their decision-making isn't so good all the time. Remember Austin Theory cashing in the Money in the Bank for the U.S. title and losing? And then he tried to like make up for that later. And it's like, or Damian Priest becoming world champion last year. Although his promos were good during that run, credit to him, his matches were nothing special. And he was a weak champion. And Jey Uso, now he's going to be a weak champion. And it's like, they don't have anything on fire right now. When Sami Zayn was in the Bloodline, they were on fire. That programming was amazing because of performances from Sami, Jimmy, Jay, all of them, but nothing they're doing is amazing. So Cena could have been the solution to that if he had actually been a good heel and had some good matches, but he failed. He's a complete and total failure.